Welcome to a special edition of the RGN Roundup series, where this time around we take a look at some of this year's game releases for the Commodore Amiga that I've been enjoying over the past few months. Our feature presentation for this episode is the Amiga conversion of The Shadows of Sergoth by the Rasta Wizards. The Shadows of Sergoth is a highly accessible dungeon crawler presented in a first-person view perspective. The game is set in a medieval fantasy world called Chrysandia, where evil lurks in the heart of the city. You, the lone warrior, has agreed to go down into the depths of the dungeons within the Sergoth Palace to face the shadows eating away at your kingdom. The game starts off with you selecting the type of character you wish to play, with a choice of 5 different races to choose from. Game control can be via mouse or keyboard, or a hybrid approach. I personally ended up using a keyboard for navigation and the mouse controls for attacking and inventory control. When you come across an item on the floor, click on it to pick it up and then move it to the right side panel to either equip it to a hero or store it in inventory. The game contains an inbuilt auto map to help us track our progress through the dungeon levels, which is a godsend as you'll be referring to it constantly. When it comes to combat, initially it is a simple matter of making sure that you have a weapon equipped and then clicking on the enemy creature in front of you. Note that the combat is turn-based in that you and the monsters move or attack one after the other. You're going to need to learn some magic spells to help you with your mission. For example, we need some way to hit the button in the distance so that the hole in the floor ahead of us disappears. So to do this, we need to find a spell book and a spell that will allow us to cast a magic arrow. Once we've found these, go back to the location of the switch, equip yourself with the spell book and the spell you want to cast, and then success. Initially, the main enemies you'll come across will be bats, but as you delve deeper into the game, we're presented with a greater variety of enemies that are much stronger and will need a bit of strategy, along with the building up of player statistics to overcome them without losing too much health. Sometimes you'll need to use long-range weapons or cast magic spells from a distance, but beware that if you do the latter, then your magic energy bar reduces, so it's not unlimited in its use. Some creatures may bite and inflict poison upon you, which will have drastic consequences if we don't find a way to counteract it. There are lots of switches for you to locate and use in the Shadows of Sergoth, many of which will open secret walls, and there is a broad variety of weapon and equipment upgrades to find to build up your player statistics. When you complete a level, you're able to apply an upgrade to one of your main category stats. The Shadows of Sergoth does move around well in general, though some actions may take a few seconds to become apparent if you start clicking around too much all at once. And to be honest, this would be the only criticism I would have of the game. Gameplay wise, The Shadows of Sergoth is quite casual, and the amount of player stats and skills set to learn is not too overwhelming, making it perfect for anyone who has wanted to play a dungeon crawler game but been discouraged by the complexity involved with other games in the genre. And it is for this reason that I particularly enjoy Shadows of Sergoth. The game has a save feature and you're going to need it, as there are many hours of exploration to be had. The Amiga conversion is mostly faithful to the original Amstrad version of the game. There are a couple of puzzles that have been tweaked here and there, and 4 more levels have been added, bringing the total to 20 levels. The Shadows of Sergoth is available on pre-order from Double-Sided Games. The game is available in both a digital edition and a beautifully presented box disc edition. Before we take a look at some of the other recent game releases, let's take a pause to see what we have to look forward to in 2022. Graham Cowie is teaming up with Tenshu to work on Devil's Temple, a sequel to Kung Fu Master. The game is set 3 years after Kung Fu Master, and the pixel art in the game has been adapted to resemble something that would have been available on a 16-bit machine in 1987. Devil's Temple will feature 10 stages, and as Graham describes it, it covers a typical tried and tested scenario of your girl being kidnapped, go and get her, kill all the bad guys standing in your way. The later 5 levels are centered around Kung Fu Master, while the first 5 will resemble closer to Vigilante. The game will feature the ability for the player to pick up nunchucks and knives, and increasingly difficult bosses to deal with at the end of each of the 10 levels. The game will be available in both digital and as a boxed edition. The game is expected to be released in February 2022. Daniel Stevens is collaborating with Kevin Saunders on Boss Machine, a Thunder Force 4 inspired shooter that is looking awesome. Just take a look at the speed on offer here, and the game scrolls vertically as well as horizontally, which will give an epic feel to the game with its extended gameplay field. The game will require an AGA system, with Daniel recently showing the game running on a stock Amiga 1200 machine. No definitive timeline on when Boss Machine will be ready. This one falls into the "it will be done when it's done" category. And if you are looking for more shoot 'em up action for your Amiga, then we have RESHOOT PROXIMA 3 to look forward to as well. Richard Lowenstein recently revealed the Gamescom 2021 trailer for the game, which once again featured pixels from Kevin Saunders. The game is a vertical scroller with plenty of firepower, all backed up with another great thumping soundtrack. RESHOOT PROXIMA 3 is designed to run on AGA machines. Turbo Tomato by Nivrig Games is a hectic battle arena style game that is simply a whole lot of fun. You play Turbo the Tomato, who finds that his peaceful garden world has been turned upside down as other vegetables have started to mutate into monsters. Turbo must flee his homeworld and uncover the terrible secret behind this spread of darkness. The garden world is split into multiple levels, and as the game starts off, you're immediately overwhelmed with the ensuing chaos. Pick up a time bomb and hurl it in the direction of a mutant vegetable to eliminate them one by one. Take care not to hold on to a bomb that goes off in your hand, and while you're at it, try not to get hit by bombs being thrown in your direction either. When you eliminate all other vegetables, an exit portal opens up for you, and you're on to the next level. Path forward is not always linear. At the completion of some levels, you're given multiple exit options, taking you through different pathways. There are 4 game worlds on offer, comprising more than 35 levels. There is a good level of variety within every level, helping the game stay fresh, despite the basic gameplay mechanism being somewhat the same all throughout. Turbo Tomato features plenty of pickups for you to collect and take advantage of. And when you get to the end of a world, you are then faced with a boss battle. Turbo Tomato does not push the Amiga to its graphical limits, but it does contain some good sound effects. However, it is gameplay that really matters, and the game is very good at just being fun to play. Simple game that is very well executed. If you ever wanted your younger child to get interested in Amiga gaming, then this is the game to introduce them to. Turbo Tomato is available as a digital purchase from Nivrig's itch.io page, while a physical edition of the game can be purchased from Bitmap Soft. Inca Man by Amazon Games is a multi-level single-screen platform game where we guide Inca Man around collecting all the gems on screen while avoiding the nasties who are out to do us harm. Once you collect all the gems, a key is revealed that needs to be picked up before we can head off to the exit. You can collect bonuses such as armor, extra lives and time freeze to help you with your objective, and when completing a level, you are given a password which allows you to restart the game at a later time, without having to replay the levels you've already completed. The game contains 30 levels and 9 different enemy types, and does a good job in maintaining your interest throughout the whole game. In Command is available as a digital download from Amazon.itch.io page. Wrong Way Driver by Abyss is an endless runner style minigame. Steer your car against oncoming traffic for as long as you can before your fuel runs out. Pick up fuel cans to extend your run, while you can also collect coins to bolster your cash balance. When it is game over, you get a chance to purchase a car upgrade or reward, and these are retained for all subsequent runs. This is a nice game to pass 20 or so minutes every now and then. Wrong Way Driver is a free digital download. Link to the download is in the video description. Invia by Skunk is a horizontal shooter with a relaxed pacing that will initially remind you of a little of R-Type. The game was originally released with 6 different looking levels and provides a variety of enemy types, weapon upgrades, speed upgrades, and 3 layers of parallax scrolling. The first level does prove to be a little challenging initially, but once you beat it, you will find that it set you up well to take on the next few levels without too much hassle. The pacing of the game is what I quite enjoy with Invia. Fast reaction skills are not necessary here. Instead, just having awareness of the enemy patterns is sufficient. The enemy waves are not really that sophisticated, so they do become easy to remember. The music soundtrack fits the game pace very well and has somewhat of a chill vibe to it. Overall, Invia is a good addition to the Amiga shoot 'em up library and is well worth a download from Skunk's itch.io page. The game is also available in a physical edition from poly.play. And that is a wrap on this special edition Amiga Roundup. I hope you've enjoyed looking at some of the latest games for the Commodore Amiga. We'll be back with further Amiga focused showcases in the upcoming months. Thank you for taking the time to watch this episode, and a special thanks to the viewers who go the extra step to support the channel. Until next time, bye for now.